I want to ask you, what would make you invest in a market you are currently avoiding?
So, first of all, thank you very much, UN Habitat, and for giving me this opportunity. I would like to speak some beautiful case study from India of urban planning and how it creates the self-financing of infrastructure and creates the unlocking the value of land for the landowners and the future and government also benefits out of that unlocking land value because government retains some part of land. So I would like to throw some light on the town planning scheme of Gujarat. So that this town planning scheme has started in 1976. And what they do is, let's say one city, so they decide the urban development area, future development area, current area. They decide that the urban authority area. And in that urban authority area, they include the future expansion areas also. So in future, development doesn't happen haphazardly. So let's say a city like Ahmedabad has 1800 square kilometer of area. So in 1800 square kilometer area, they first plan development plan of that city, zoning of the each area, road network and transport areas, transport nodes for that area, and that's called the development plan first. The second layer is TP scheme. So out of that total area, they separate some area, they cut in so many pieces. So one area, roughly around 300 hectare to 800 hectare, is one town planning scheme. In that one town planning scheme is for giving you the simple maths or simple economics. A landowner holds the 100 square meter of land. Out of that 100 square meter, government deduct 40 square meter of land, and they and the 60 square meter land is given back to the landowner as a final plot. But what happens in this process that the original farmland doesn't have the road access or a walking path or something. But after deduction of this 40% land, they got the final plot with the road access, proper infrastructure, drainage, street light, and everything. So the landowner gets the higher value than the original farmland value, than the higher value of the final plot. So he's very happy about it that he's getting more money out of his land. Government got the 40% of the land at deductible area. Out of that 40% land, they reserve 15% for the road network and transport nodes, 5% for affordable housing, EWS housing. We call it economically weaker section housing. And 5% land they kept for the garden, 5% land they kept for the public social infrastructure like school, library, hospital, and 10% land they kept reserve for selling in future commercial plot, 5% commercial and 5% residential. So they got this 40% land, and this from that 10% land what they have kept, they sell it by auction, and from that proceeds they get the funds for the funding the infrastructure development of that particular area. So government funding is government. They don't need government funding. They got government funding from that 10% of the land. Interestingly, 5% land reserved for the economical weaker section people. That 5% land has come free of cost to the government. So they develop economically weaker section homes on that, and they allot it to the appropriate home buyers. They scan it and allot it to the home buyers, and they do the open draw system. So it's a fair allotment, and I think it's a at very reasonable cost. They charge only development cost. So it is inclusive. The affordable housing in one pocket, 5% land is there, and the affordable housing is there. So it is not that for affordable housing you have to go 20 kilometer far or 50 kilometer far from the city. In every area there is affordable housing. In every pocket there is affordable housing. So this is a very successful model in Gujarat. What this model has done, it unlocked the value of land for the landowners. For the government, it creates for creating the infrastructure, future development, plan growth. Everything has been taken care of by this town planning scheme, and future funding of this infrastructure development is also self-funded by the land selling. So I think this is a very unique model in Gujarat, and many states in Gujarat, they are also trying to replicate this model in India, other states as well. And I think for the this model, this model is successful. I think this can be replicated in many parts of the world, or at least in the developing countries or underdeveloped countries, because I think I will submit the papers about this model to the UN Habitat, and we can discuss on this further. But global level, if we want to make a sustainable city, my predecessor has talking about they plan the city town planning, but then government don't have the funds for the infrastructure. But in this model, infrastructure fund has already been covered. So we are happy. I am happy to share Gujarat knowledge to everywhere, and it's a very successful model. Thank you very much.